The second part.
So, yesterday, my roommate picked up a shift at work and was gone. I get a knock on our door and I open it to a guy. He says hi, and I give a confused hi. And then he barges in and scoops me up into a hug. He starts saying, "I thought you were working. I was hoping your roommate was here so I could surprise you when you got back." And I'm so confused. I immediately get down and back away and let him know I have absolutely no clue what he's talking about. My brain can't even process what's happening. Then he looks confused and says, "Maggie?" And I'm like, "No, that's my roommate." My roommate and I look nothing alike, so I'm even more confused. Then something kind of clicks and I think, oh my god, is this the guy she's been dating? So I say, "Wait, are you Adam?" And he gives me a very slow yes. And I get excited and say, "Oh my god, I bet Maggie's gonna flip out. I can't believe you're here." His demeanor completely changes. He asks me what I'm talking about. I'm Maggie, and I tell him no, I'm Summer, Maggie's roommate. At this point, I'm still completely missing something he's just pieced together. He just says, "Holy f," and looks like he doesn't know what to say. Eventually, he asks if he can sit down. I invite him in. He then proceeds to tell me for the past 5 years, he thought he's been talking to me. Every picture he's ever seen of Maggie has actually been pictures of me. I'm completely dumbfounded, and we don't know what to say to each other at first. So he gets out his phone and shows me proof. He has tons of pictures of me he saved on his phone and went to their messages and showed me proof that she's been sending them to him. I felt and still feel completely sick to my stomach. I get out my phone and show him real pictures of her. I tell him maybe they could just talk when she gets off of work. And he's really pissed at this point. I say maybe we should call her first and let her know he's here. So I do that, and she starts flipping out, saying she's not coming home. Tells him to leave and that she won't talk to him. He calls her and starts yelling at her over the phone. After everyone calms down, she eventually comes home. He's hurt and accusing. She's crying. I'm sitting there awkwardly. She tells him that she's still the same person he's had feelings for, and he screams at her, "No, I thought I was in love with your roommate." And that completely makes her break down, so I tell him maybe he should leave for the night and everyone should have their own space. He agrees, and after he leaves, she goes completely psychotic on me and starts throwing stuff around the living room. Tells me she hates me. I start crying. It's a mess. I left to stay with a friend and haven't been back, so I don't know what's gone down. I feel like I have no idea who the person I'm living with is, and I feel weirdly violated. Do I move out? Do I try to call her? She hasn't even texted me. I don't know how to deal with this situation.
Whoa.
Yep, I was partially right. I just had it reversed. She done went catfish. Done catfish that poor man. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
First of all, I just caught the part with her for 5 years, though. It's like,
Oh, this is some years?
yeah, this
Yes,
was 5 years.
That's why she
Mm.
never wanted to meet up with him because she knew he was gonna see her and be like, "Who are you?" Girl, the web we weave when we first practice to deceive, or something like that.
No, that was it.
Oh, what a tangle web we weave. And
Yeah, that's
first
it.
we practice to deceive. Yep. Cosby Show.
I don't.
Young.
She gonna get mad at something. She want to sit here catfishing people.
But this went on for 5 years. See, it's me. Well, it seems like every time I talk, it's me. But this went on for 5 years. How long did she expect this to work? I mean, really? How? She's obviously said she's in love with him and he's in love with her. So eventually, y'all gonna have to face each other. Like, you're not gonna get married online and then live together online. And I don't know. The only reason I say this baffled me, that people like this exist, is because I always have a beginning, a middle, and a end game. I know what I want. The middle is me working it, and if I work it correctly, I'll get to this end. I don't understand people who has the beginning and the middle part, but what did you expect the ending was going to be?
But her level of self confidence has to be really, 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 really low for her to say, you know what I'm going to do? He doesn't need to see me. I'm busted in the face. I'll just take my roommate who's more attractive than me. Who thinks that? I mean, she has to, her self confidence. It can't be right. Hey, Susan, she,
5 years is a long time.
I mean,
And,
what would
that's
she
what's
do?
throwing me, Thea. It's 5 years.
But I mean, you think about it. Once you start, where do you stop?
I mean,
That's
that's
Like
sad.
you in it now.
But if I was that roommate, I would. I'm gone. I'm never coming back. She would. Nope, 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 nope. Still in my pictures.
You do not violate someone's trust, someone's autonomy like that. You are now sharing pictures of her over the internet.
Yeah, isn't that
Those
illegal?
things don't come down.
Ever?
Well, they're probably like normal pictures.
Yeah, but she's
Right.
pretending to be. That's her. Knowing
Yeah, that's
good will.
identity theft on a level. At least she ain't opening credit cards. That's good.
Right.
Hey, this lady.
Poor girl needs help.
She really does because that, like I said, her self confidence has to be at zero to think, wow, I'm not attractive enough to get a man on my own. So let me take my roommate's picture, say it's me. How long did she think? Like, did she think he would? Like, how did she pull this off for 5 years when he said, list me? Oh, I can't because I'm busy.
I don't
can't.
think she's a mastermind here.
She doesn't have the thing yet hooked up of what happens next. The ultimate, what happens next.
Yeah, because eventually, if you're in that kind of relationship, somewhere, I don't know how they met, but assuming because I've never been in a long distance relationship, you meet first. You live in 2 different states, so you travel to each different state. You don't just meet online and then start dating online, do you? Because maybe I'm just
Yeah.
you can't do that. See,
Lots
to
of
you
me,
people
can. It's
do.
untraditional.
I
But
never
that's what I
did the
mean
whole dial a date.
when
thing.
you do stuff like this. She fell into the trap. He fell into the trap, but on a different scale. She fell into the trap of she didn't think she was gonna fall in love. He fell in love, and what she said was true to a fault. And because he did fall in love with Maggie, her
yeah, the roommate.
personality and everything else. However, I can see from his point of view that, yeah, but all of this was started on
On a
falsehood.
lie.
Not only that, but how are you gonna say I fell in love with you? I didn't fall in love with you. I fell in love with your imagination.
Yeah, because I don't know what else. I
don't know what part was you and what part was the story you were telling.
Yeah, the old story said, if you're lying about this, what else are you lying about? Like, you could easily go look at somebody's profile or read their stories or look at their pictures and go, oh, okay. So they like this and they like this and they like this. So I'm going to say, hey,
I'm
so
still
do
tripping
I.
off of this dating online thing because as a person that has a profile, I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to meet this guy in person, see what he looks like. He sees what I look like. That's the way I'm thinking this should go. But apparently, y'all telling me it don't necessarily go this way.
I don't
It
see
goes
how it
many
goes 5
different
years,
ways.
though.
What did
I'm
you say,
sorry.
Anna?
It goes many different ways. Some people will make up a profile and they will say, you know, I don't want anything online. I don't want to be talking to you. I don't want to be texting you. I want this to be a real relationship. To other people, they might meet in the chat room. They may have no intention of actually getting together, but you go to this room often. You find yourself talking with this specific person often. And you find yourself, I just wonder what it would be like.
Boy, I done missed the whole game. I just feel like I'm just on the slow train because I'm like, what?
Well,
I was that in between time of, like, I still believe in offline dating are the real milestones, if you will. But I see where a lot of people actually really do are get attracted to being able to get to know someone for their mind first. When you have to talk and really get to know someone,
But don't you really put up your real profile picture and you not sitting there stealing your roommate's picture? Be like, oh, that's like me putting up who's somebody loves. Okay, I'm trying to think.
JP, in my experience, it has always been my picture on my
Yeah, I'm
profile.
like, if you can't deal with all of this, like, boo, you bye.
Hmm.
That's like me putting up a picture of Holly Berry. This is me. No way.
I can't believe it's been for 5 years. No companionship, no being in each other's present. 5 years and not even a kiss or a hug, just lonely and
That's
online
what
was
I'm
better
saying,
than
Mickey.
nothing.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta touch them somehow. FaceTime is only good to a point.
That there's a part of this, Mickey. I'm glad you said 5 years and not even a kiss or a hug. Like,
Like I
well,
said, there's a difference between this and a long distance relationship. Big
All
difference.
relationships aren't physical.
well,
No.
They are not.
we have an update.
It's an update. Thank you guys for all of your advice and comments. Many saying you've been in mine or Adam's position. It's made me feel better. I'm going to go ahead and post an update because I don't think there will be more of an outcome than this. I ended up having a phone call with Adam, mostly because I wanted to know about the pictures she sent. Turns out, she sent pictures of me in my underwear and nudes that aren't actually of me or her. So we're assuming she got those from Google. He feels really bad and is actually having a hard time with all of this. I assured him I don't blame him at all for the underwear pics or anything like that. He ended up telling me that they actually have FaceTimed, but she would never show her face. Only the top of her head and hair, which is dyed a similar color to mine. I never thought anything of this. Now I think it might be really weird. And her excuse was she felt like she looked bad on video and was self-conscious, didn't have makeup on, etc. He said he didn't think it was weird. I don't know. He also told me he's tried a ton of times to arrange visits to meet, and she's come up with excuses every time. He said that he's mostly content to talk through text and over the phone up until this point. Also, he said he's going to try to reach out to her one more time to talk about everything, but that he's moving on. As for me, I'm not sure if I can break my lease yet, but I'm going to go ahead and move out and in with a friend until my lease is over. We briefly talked when I went to my apartment, and she sort of half apologized, but is still pretty hostile and defensive. So I'm going to give her space. I feel bad for her, but I don't think our relationship is going to survive this whole thing. Anyway, this has been some crazy stuff, and I appreciate all the responses I got. Y'all are awesome.
Oh boy.
The things that people would do with Al Gore's internet.
Okay, well, I turned my fan off, and now I don't know what's going on.
Well, I haven't
Why is
said
it
it.
on?
It's me.
It sure is. Probably that microphone you got on.
Is I got the microphone too close, maybe? Let's see. Testing to all the good people out there. Oh, I must have had the microphone too close. Okay.
Tracy, IT specialist. As you recall.
Let's put it right here. Okay, so I'll just leave it right here, and then I'll be real quiet through the whole video because I know what it sounds like when I got it on the table, but it beats listening to me in the third person. So here's the deal. I still okay. You know what? I'm going to ignore it. Sorry. I'll check the settings during break. But here's the deal. That dude is hurt. He has every right to be hurt. I'm not even blaming him for being hurt. And I am shocked that he said, I'm going to reach out to her again and then I'm going to move on because I have no idea what I would say to her. I really don't. I don't know what I could possibly have left to say to somebody. Number two, yeah, I'm with Tracy on this one. Don't go back to that house to a woman that's taking pictures of you in your underwear.
Nudes?
I mean, well, the news
Not
wasn't her, but the thought,
underwear. That's
yeah, the underwear thing
Underwear?
is enough.
What? Mm-mm.
the violation.
Mm.
You couldn't trust her again. No, you
And she has the
return her
nerve
to
to be
being
angry. That's what's tripping. I'm like, no.
She's
What?
angry for being caught.
caught.
That's what
She
she's
is
angry
young.
about.
For her.
She's angry for being caught. She's embarrassed. She never and by the way, again, lady, I have no idea what you thought the end game was gonna be. So I'm gonna say again, she didn't think she was ever gonna get caught, which again, I don't know why you would think that. It's been 5 years. Eventually, you're gonna have to meet the dude. Now I'm gonna put a little caveat on old boy too. And I'm sorry, I don't want to beat up on him. He is the victim. I'm making this perfectly clear. He is the victim of this story. But my boy,
Girlfriend.
5 years. You don't try for 5 years to meet her in person, and for 5 years straight, something comes up. Come on, man. 5 years. Once every blue moon, I get it. I get it. 5 years. Come on, man. Come on. Seriously. Something should look. I'll put it to you this way. I'd have been looking at her sideways after a year.
A couple of months, 6 months, and I don't know what you look like. Nah, this can't get. This ain't gonna go past the second conversation. To be honest.
I'm sorry. And again, I don't want to harp on him. I really don't. But my boy, some bells should have been ringing. That you can't meet her, she can't come see you. You can't see her face on the camera. Like, come on, you know I'm finna call you.
Yeah.
Like, even if
Take
I
this
say
as a
I don't
good
care if you
journey.
wear makeup, I just want to see your face. I don't care about the makeup thing. I think you're beautiful regardless of the makeup. And she's still showing the top of her head. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. And like I said, I don't want to harp on him. He is the victim. I'm just pointing out things that would have stopped you from being victimized. And
Yeah,
I
there's
really feel like
actually.
being victimized is just use some common sense.
Yep.
That something ain't right. That's all I'm saying. I'll leave it up to everybody else. When I was on online dating thingy, I just want to say, and I said so. When I meet people in person, I said so again. These are men who still disappointed, or else they didn't believe me. Susan, that is a male-driven, egotistical. The only people who only want sex are men, and they don't believe that women want just that too. And apparently, from this point on now, because I've been on this planet for 50 years, and it's been going on since I was a teenager, and ain't nothing changed from that. So it is what it is. We could say all we want is sex as a male, and people believe us. Women can say the only thing they want is sex, and men will think that's just a trap. You just trying to get me to fall in love with you because you know what I want to hear is barbaric, is old, is misogynistic. It's a whole bunch of stuff. But that's what it is. Maybe she has some action in her real life and is just enjoying the action of her. That never came up in the story, though. That never came
Mm-mm.
up in the story that there was
Like,
somebody
what was
else.
her motivation? Thinking, boy, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my roommate's picture and I'm gonna tell him it's me. What, girl?
Maybe.
I was waiting for the roommate and the guy to start like hitting it off.
That's what I was waiting on. I was like, they're gonna start dating. Why she start dating? He's already infatuated with her anyway.
See, because we're so used to the romanticizing
If this
of
was a
things that.
romantic comedy, that would be absolutely what would happen.
Yeah, if it was a romantic comedy, that's exactly what would happen. That's exactly what would happen. It'll be a romantic comedy where go, well, I really fell in love with you, but whatever. Yeah, Theus is having technical difficulty. He'll be right back. He has to wait for AOL to do his thing.
I have seen some really beautiful long distance relationships that people did not get to meet for 3 or 4 years, and they're still married. You know, the woman was from Israel, the man was from America. Unexpectedly, they hit it off. What are you going to do when you suddenly find somebody that you can talk to all day and night? You don't seem to run out of things to say, but you're on different continents. You're on different sides of the ocean. You know,
Like I said,
this
there's
is
nothing
something
wrong.
people with the army go through,
But
or
they,
the Navy
yeah.
services.
But
You
Anna,
know,
they
my
knew what
partner
each
is
other
in the
looked
service.
like. She didn't take her roommate's picture and say, "Hey, this is me."
Yes,
Yeah, but after
I am
listening
not
to the
talking
story,
now
we don't
about.
know that.
I am just saying, in my experience, there have been some incredible relationships that have sprung up from you'd never know where. I try not to judge, but hey, here, no, you don't take your roommate's pictures.
In the draws.
Exactly.
Well, I know I missed probably the last segment, but as far as the whole thing is concerned, it's like you stop where it goes wrong. So dating online or virtual, that's not wrong. It's not my style, but it's not wrong. Then pretending to be someone other than who you are is wrong. And then stop. Like the whole rest of the story literally is irrelevant. You were dating someone long distance. Okay, all right. To each their own. Maybe you socially awkward or aesthetically unpleasing. But then as soon as you do the fraud part, it's over. Like I don't need to understand nothing else about what you were doing. Like nothing. It's over.
There's really 3 victims here. If you really think about it, there's obviously the man who was catfished, the roommate, and even the perpetrator to some extent. Because, again, she must have had the lowest self-esteem ever to think, let me use my roommate's picture. Let me say that's me. Let me go through all these creative lies. Let me just show the top of my head when we FaceTime. How? She's definitely a victim, although she got just what she deserved by him.
She might have done this maliciously, though, Tracy. In which case, there is no victim angle for her, just for the guy who was lied to and the roommate who was abused. She could just be a malicious person. To her, it was all a game.
But 5 years, though?
I mean, that's like those people who fall in love with prison pen pals. Are you in love with some dude who ain't?
They don't have those.
No, that's not the same thing. There are people
because
who
at
just
least
like
in
a certain
prison,
style, and they like people in
they
prison.
have like open days so you could go see the person.
All right, so now we're gonna go way around the rabbit hole. But okay.
No, we're not. No.
No, I'm just saying. If you write to somebody in prison, they have visiting days. That's all I'm saying. Is they have
That is
visiting
kinda funny.
days.
That is kind of funny for somebody in jail going, "You lied to me." Okay. We're gonna move on to the next video. This video,
Everybody
came
in
up-
prison ain't guilty.
That's true.
I know this. We all know.
But most of them there.
Are awaiting their trial
That's true.
because we can't afford bail. Sorry.
Thank you, Anna.
That'd be fair.
We're gonna move on to the next video, and it's because of